Welcome, everyone, to Ready, Set, Sold. I'm your host, Bryan Vogt. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy Saturday. Hope everyone's having a fantastic weekend. As you may have heard, if you heard the very first part of the show, had the show God Bless Texas. Unless you're under a rock or haven't been paying attention to anything, you know what's going on in Houston and that surrounding area, Corpus Christi and what have you, but especially with Houston. And it's just, boy, you think you're lucky stars. So, we're wishing naturally, of course, our thoughts and our prayers to everyone in Texas, and especially the Houston area. I was talking to another realtor in San Antonio because just looking at the map, trying to see, and they said, no, they're fine. They were kind of concerned about that. But the devastation is really real. I know that I still remember the 93 flood, and actually bringing my kids to the arch, and the Mississippi River was, I think, steps away from that. If you're familiar with the arch at all, there's, 20, 30, 50 steps. I know they're making some changes, so I hope that's still there. But anyway, it was just amazing, and they call it the 100-year flood, and now in Texas it seems like it's even bigger than that. It's biblical. So I want to make sure that you're hopefully that you've gone to your favorite charity. I've gone to Red Cross, made a donation. Would love for everyone here listening to the program to make a charity. It could be from $10, $25, $75. I've noticed some people even in this area that are actually driving down to Houston and trying to see what they can do for support. So they really, really need our help. And I go back to 93 and the devastation that had, and the support and help that we got from family and neighbors, and also from the government was tremendous. And I think the need is even that much greater in Houston. One of the other things too, on the real estate side of it, not to bring business into it, but I had a friend that was looking at the devastation and talking about that too. Is it also shows the greatness of America, of why we do live in a great country, because of the volunteers literally risking their lives in more than a few cases, and saving people's lives from the water and from the devastation is really incredible. It's really incredible. So it just makes you proud to not only be an American, but then that Texas spirit, and it's just a really cool thing. But on the real estate side, as I mentioned, what typically happens if you're selling your house and maybe you're getting ready to close on your house, meaning is to sell it, typically along all those areas, any coastal area, especially in Texas, New Orleans, Florida, parts of Alabama, parts of that reaches down there too. What they do is they actually put a freeze on all closings. You can't close on the house. So once a warning or once a hurricane is spotted, they typically shut down everything. So if you had a house that was going to be selling, that Friday before the storm, well, that wasn't going to happen. And it's to protect both sides, the buyer naturally, and also the seller, if the situation, God forbid, something as bad as this happened. And so that typically what goes on, and then there's a certain period of time afterwards that then they would lift it, and then they would get the closings in, making sure that the house is in good working order and in good shape. So anyway, that's just a little bit of a real estate side. Again, I had one friend ask me, and then another friend asked me, so I thought I'd just address it, just more for curiosity. We're not in the Houston area, but that is typically what would happen. Anything along the borders there when a hurricane is even to be known to be coming into the area. With that said, let's kind of switch gears, and we've got a great show today. We have some great guests that are be coming on. One is Scott Miles. He's going to be talking about what you need to do if you have a security system. He's from Barcom. And also Joanna Theismann from Delmar Financial, and talking again about how easy it is to get a pre-approval letter for buyers and the importance to you as a seller, what you need to know. That's going to be in segments 3 and 4. But what we're going to be talking about now, just briefly, is getting your house pre-inspected, of taking the offensive when you're getting ready to sell your home. And that's what we're going to talk about in that section. The section number 2, following this, it's going to be the top 3 reasons to get your house pre-inspected. And I'll go into a little bit more detail about that. A little bit more about me. This program's been on now for well over 3 months, but just to kind of fill in the blanks. I am a professional realtor. I've been doing this for over 16 years. I have a highly successful team of agents that work underneath me. We work mainly in the Metro East, O'Fallon, Scottsboro Space, Shiloh, Mascoutah, Swansea, Glencarbon, Waterloo. So it's a pretty big area that we work in. And what I did was this year is I wrote a book called Ready, Set, Sold, 12 Proven Steps to Sell Your House and Fast and for Top Dollar in the St. Louis Metro East. And I always say it's 12 proven steps. This is not theory. This is not conjecture. These are things that we've been able to use, and I've been able to use over all those years to get top dollar and a fast sale for home sellers. And it's geared for this area here. One of the reasons why I wrote the book was the confusion that goes on with all of the TV shows, the list and sell shows. They're almost always based in the East Coast and West Coast, and those are totally different markets. They're just totally different markets than here locally. And we've seen too many times that sellers would watch those shows, and we understand why, and pick up some information and spend literally tens of thousands of dollars on improvements that weren't going to make them the money they would. They thought they would, and making it worse, actually going back and having to put other thousands of dollars on things that will get their home sold. So it's easy to get. I'm offering it free. My passion is real estate. I would love for you to go to readysetsold.org, not.com, readysetsold.org, not.com, and get the book. It will be sent to you by mail. Tons of people have already ordered the book, and we're so happy with that. Again, this is your biggest asset. This is your biggest investment for most people. This is not the time to do a guessing game. You want to have this information, and that's what this is. It's solid information that with proven results, you go through it. It's an easy read. I hear that from everybody that reads it. And use that information. And whether or not you use us, our team, that's okay. Go with an agent you know, like, and trust, and at least you have the information that you can share with them, or you're both on the same path. Before I forget, we're on podcasts. I mentioned that, I think, a couple of weeks ago, but we have podcasts. If you didn't catch all the show, you can go to Google Play or iTunes and catch us. We're on YouTube. You can like us on Facebook, Ready, Set, Sold. And also we have some other things coming down the road that you'll have even more opportunities to listen to us. And in 1260 The Answer has an app that's easily loaded on your phone. So if you can't listen to us through the radio, through your car or your house, do what most people are doing now, is using everything for their phone. So let's go into inspections and understanding that a home inspection, when a seller sells their home, 99% of the time a buyer is going to have a home inspection, which consists of 3 things. It consists of the home inspection itself that takes anywhere from 2 hours to 3 hours. They go from top to bottom. I mean literally, from the crawl space or the basement all the way to the chimney, and they go through that house. Secondly, there's going to be a radon test, and that's a 48-hour test, and there's a termite and pest test. All those things are almost always going to happen. And the problem happens with sellers is that they kind of feel like they're on the defensive, number one. And I was listening to a seller the other day saying that, it's just, you're on pins and needles. You don't know what they're going to find. You think you have a great house. You're pretty sure you have a great house. And here's the good news. Most sellers do. So I don't want to make it sound like that this home inspection is going to be the death of you. It's not. But just knowing that there could be something wrong can make it very difficult. Talking to a seller who was talking about that what they did was just had their inspections beforehand. And that is, had the home inspector come in, they had a reputable radon and a termite inspection done. And the seller said it was the best $500 peace of mind they ever spent. Now, $500 is probably on the high side for the Metro East. It's probably usually lower, but on the high side, $500 for peace of mind of knowing that your house is in good shape and you don't have any bad things hopefully coming your way when the inspection happens from the buyer. In the next segment, what we're going to be talking about is the 3 top reasons to get your house pre-inspected. Not only what I mentioned there, but I'm going to give you some examples of why it's so important to get that done and to have that confidence when selling your house. Hey, you're listening to Ready, Set, Sold with your host, Bryan Vogt. Hey, during the break, go get the book. ReadySetSold.org, not .com. Go to ReadySetSold.org, not .com, and get the book. See you in a few.